Hello everyone and welcome to another trick guide video, and this one is Willow Springs Big Willow in Gr.4. I've done this one with a TT Cup, a car that was quite popular in GT Sport, but since GT7 got released, this car wasn't really used that much. It's not the best, but on this track it's proving to be quite an interesting little car, and especially in this combo it had a couple of I would say very tricky corners, and in general the acceleration of this car is something else, and I will just try to explain what I did and how I achieved my lap time. So without further ado, let's get going. Starting a lap here, and there is a kind of a technique that I'm going to show you here. So just before the 50-meter sign I brake, but just as I brake I leave my foot on the accelerator, so just about maybe 5-10%. So the car is able to hold this corner with much more stability. So in general the back of the car will get loose, but if you keep the power down it will not get that loose. And you can also see brake and accelerate in this one. You can actually see that I'm accelerating and hitting the brakes a couple of times, so it kind of gives me a bit more rotation than I would eventually got if let's say I was just lifting or braking, something like that. Even here, so 50-meter sign, brake in the straight a little while, and this is almost like trail braking. But look at my right foot, it's already on the power before the turn, and it's also gonna happen in here because these corners are very slow, and in general you need to keep the car going and you need to keep the revs alive. In general, I'm just doing this so I can bring the car a little bit faster out of the corner and get myself a little bit more stability, especially here. You can go over, pretty much you can go over the curb. I know sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, but just make sure that you do it in this way. So a little bit of braking, and even before the apex I start accelerating, because if you start accelerating after the apex there is quite a possibility that you will lose the back end. Something that I mentioned in I think in the first minute of this video, but you want to keep the car as stable as possible. If you hit the brakes without the acceleration down, the back of the car will get sideways and you will eventually lose control. Especially here it's like 150, and you can see kind of I'm playing with the throttle. I'm still braking maybe about, I would say 40-50%, but the throttle keeps on going because I want that stability. I really want to keep the car, you know, in that line, very stable line, and you know, eventually get more speed out of the corner. So it was a 15.9, not the best lap, just to mention, not the best one. I've seen a lot better lap times, but it's all about how well you can manage the track, how well you can utilize every single inch of this track, and in general it's a very hard one. And yeah, I think a 15.9 is something that is pretty much going to be okay for this week and for this daily race. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you got any questions feel free to ask them down in the comments. Enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.